Yo, what's going on, guys? So, today in this video, I'm gonna be talking about some Scream 7 news that had came out months ago. Like, this information came out like in April of 2024, and I barely had just found out about it like 2 days ago, and it was just like I was just like, what the hell? Like, how did I never know this? Um, so basically, radio silence, because like plenty of us thought that, Radio Silence were executive producers for Scream 7. We thought that they were still involved for Scream 7 in some kind of way because there was articles um coming out saying that Radio Silence was still a part of Scream 7, um but they're but but only as executive producers. They weren't directors anymore. That was the information that that we had gotten last year in 2023. I remember this. Like around the time, not that long after we got that information that Radio Silence wasn't returning to Scream 7 because of, their scheduling conflicts. They were like filming the Universal Monster movie, Abigail, and, yeah, so they had scheduling conflicts. And, then not that long after we found out Radio Silence wasn't returning, then out of nowhere, we, um, we start we find we start seeing I started seeing articles that that were explaining that Radio Silence, they weren't coming back as directors, but they were going to be executive producers. But here, Entertainment Weekly, a couple months ago of this year in April, they had talked about how that's not actually the case. Radio Silence isn't even executive producers either. They're not a part of Scream 7 at all whatsoever. So what really happened is this. In this article, it says Radio Silence and Barrera departed the Scream franchise after that sixth film, albeit for different reasons, as Gillette and Bentalani Oakland said previously. Their timeline to make Abigail didn't align with the studio's mission to make a seventh movie as fast as possible. And that's the information we had found out, remember? Um, that, Radio Silence, they were doing Abigail. But we didn't know it was called Abigail at that time because, like, it was just called the Universal Monster movie, and that was it. But yeah, like, there was the articles explaining that. So pretty much scheduling conflicts was the reason Radio Silence didn't return, and the studio wanted, you know, Spyglass wanted to move on without them, because they didn't want to wait. And so then, you know, plenty of us thought that, oh, but there was these articles saying that, Radio Silence will still be involved as executive producers, though they just won't be directors. But here it says Gillette and Bentalani Oakland are credited as executive producers on the upcoming movie, but they confirmed to Entertainment Weekly that that's just a vanity credit. They gave us that title as, I think, a thank you for being such an instrumental part in bringing that franchise back to audiences. But that, as far as our engagement goes, Gillette explains. So this is Tyler Gillette saying all this. They're the ones starting from um, right here where it says Gillette and Bentalani Oakland are credited as executive producers, and all the way till the end. That's basically Tyler Gillette saying all this stuff, saying that, yeah, we're not even executive producers for Scream 7. We're just credited as that. We were put. They gave us that title for Scream 7, but we're not actually executive producers. We're just we were just given that title by the studio, but we're not actually executive producers for the movie. We're not involved in any way. That's basically what Tyler Gillett is saying. That him and Matt are not involved with Scream 7 in any way, not even as executive producers. So pretty much, that's pretty much what it was. And I don't know if any, like, other YouTuber has even talked about this because like I haven't really seen that much information come out about this. Like this is the first time I'm even seeing this stuff. Um, and yeah, it's like um, here's the thing: is that I think because Tyler Gillette is saying that he thinks that the reason um, Radio Silence, him and Matt were put as executive producers, they were given that title. He said the reason he thinks that is because the studio was doing that as a thank you to them. But I feel like what it really was though was that um, Gary Barber, the owner of Spyglass, he's the one that was like, you know, he wanted to move on without Radio Silence. He didn't want to wait for them until they were like their schedule was over and not busy. And yeah, like Spyglass was like, yeah, we're not waiting for you guys, but I'll give you, um, I'm not saying Gary Barber told Radio Silence this stuff, but I'm just saying like the thought process for him was like, yeah, I want to move on without them, without Radio Silence. I'm not gonna wait for them, but I'm gonna give them this title as executive producers and have all these articles post about it, and then that way people can see it and think that Radio Silence is still involved in Scream Seven in some way, even if they're not directors and they're just executive producers. So Radio. I feel like Gary Barber, he was trying to make himself look like a good person um by like having Radio Silence name as executive producers, even if they're not actually that. And he had all these articles like telling people that that pretty much Radio Silence were executive producers to make people believe that that was the case, so that way he could not look bad for moving on without Radio Silence for Scream Seven. Um, so yeah, like I feel like that's really what it is, like, because Gary Barber, you know, he's the one that has been catching the flag for like a lot of things, obviously, with Melissa, with Jenna, with Christopher Landon. But it all started with Radio Silence though, because they were the ones that like left, and it wasn't such a big conflict because like people just thought that it was scheduling stuff and you know whatever. I mean, there was some kind of like you know I did see um some like complaints about the studio Spyglass moving on without Radio Silence for Scream Seven. I do remember seeing some kind of like you know hate for that decision, but I didn't see as much. Like it was kind of like half and half, right? Like, well, I don't know. From what I was seeing, it was like half and half. Like half the fans were like okay with the studio moving on without Radio Silence, and then the other half were like, nah, the studio should have waited. And but I really feel like Gary Barber, the owner of Spyglass, he's the one that was like, yeah, we're gonna move on without Radio Silence, but we're gonna give them this title as executive producer, so that way people can think they're still involved in some way. So that way, me as being being part of Spyglass, you know, that way I don't look bad for moving on without Radio Silence. That's what Gary Barber's thought process was. It has to be because there's just no. I highly doubt this dude cares about giving Radio Silence some kind of thank you for bringing back the franchise. Like I doubt he cares about that. All this dude cares about is money. You know what I'm saying? Like why would he care about um like why would he care about this franchise coming back? You know, like well, I mean, he would care in some way, right? Because like for the money stuff, like I was saying, but he wouldn't care enough to like give. Radio Silence a thank you. There's just no way that Gary Barber would like be like, oh my gosh, thank you Radio Silence for, this is gonna be my thank you to you. I'm gonna give you the title as executive producer, producers, even if you're not actually executive producers. But I'm gonna give you that title as a credit for this film, only because you brought back the franchise. Like, I doubt Gary Barber would thank Radio Silence for that. He just doesn't seem like a thank you kind of guy. He just doesn't seem like he would even care to say thank you. As long as he's making money, that's all that matters, you know. So yeah, like I highly doubt that this decision to just like move on, without Radio Silence was just because, and then giving them that title credit as like executive producers, even if they're not actually executive producers. I highly doubt that was done by Gary Barber, the owner of Spyglass, because he was trying to say thank you to Radio Silence. I highly doubt that. It really was just to make himself look good for moving on without Radio Silence. So yeah, like that's all it was. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know. As far as like the reason why I kind of side right there is not because of this information, but it's because like um the other day I filmed like a Scream 7 video. I don't know if you guys got the notification for it, or if you guys even seen it, because like there's like very few people who actually saw it and whatnot. And but I don't know if like those of you who got the notification for it and just didn't like have time to watch it, but then are now watching this video. But regardless, though, basically, I was filming a Scream 7 video and then I uploaded it the other day, and then I deleted it that same day. This was a couple of days ago. It was about Courtney Cox returning to Scream 7. Well, not returning, but it was like rumors that she was returning to Scream 7. And rumors about like Scream 7 being filmed in December, and just a whole bunch of other theories that I came up with. And that was what my last Scream 7 video was about. And then I deleted it that same day because one of my um one of my buddies, they had told me that when they watched the video, the audio was like messing up. It sounded weird. Um so then I ended up deleting the video. And now I'm like, dang, you know, now I'm gonna have to do that video all over again and make it um so I mean, I don't know, like I just want you guys to know if you watch that video, because I'm uploading it either later today or tomorrow. But when you guys see my new Scream 7 video, that is titled Scream 7 Courtney Cox Returns, and then a question mark, and then filming in December, and then another question mark, and then the title after that, it says, and my theories. If you guys see that title tomorrow for one of my Scream 7 videos, just know that that's me basically talking about that information again, because I already did it. I already talked about the information a couple days ago. And I only deleted it because the audio was acting up. It was not working. It sounded very low. So then I deleted that video. So I don't want, just some people to think that who may have gotten the notification or who may have watched it to just think that I'm just like I'm like talking about that information again just for the sake of it. No, I'm basically having to redo that video because the audio for the last one was acting up. So anyways, that's basically my whole long story of that. But yeah, anyways, Scream 7, we haven't really got much information about about this film. And so I don't know. I really don't know when information will start kicking in. when we'll start getting more stuff about the film. Um, but as far as I'm concerned, like there's all there really is just rumors, you know, and that's why I made a whole video about it, about some of the rumors the other day, because that's really all I have. You know, I'm not gonna talk about every single rumor that I hear, but like I'm not gonna make a video about it and like care about all of them. But you know, I try to like make videos about them when I can, when I feel like it, just because like we're not really getting information about Scream 7 anyway, so I might as well sometimes just talk about rumors for Scream 7. You know, that's kind of my thought process. But anyways, yeah, Radio Silence. For those of you who thought that Radio Silence were executive producers for Scream 7, they're not. They're not. Um, and this all the information that I just said in this video, you guys can go look it up on X. You know, it search up Entertainment Weekly, and you know, right, and then put Radio Silence right after that, and then search it up, and you'll see the article. It talks about um, Tyler Gillette, one of the Radio Silence guys, basically saying like, yeah, us Radio Silence, me and Matt, you know, us Radio Silence guys, we're not part of Scream 7. We're not executive producers. We're not directors. We're not anything. You know. So for those of you who thought that like Radio Silence they weren't directors for Scream 7, but they were executive producers, so they were still involved in some way. For those of you who thought that, that's not true. Radio Silence were never involved in Scream 7 in any kind of way. And Tyler Gillette, who's one of the Radio Silence guys, confirmed that in the Entertainment Weekly article. And you guys can go look it up, like I said. So, anyways, enough of me rambling. Um, I don't even know like when I'm gonna post that video that I was just talking about earlier about the Scream 7 rumors. Um, I might upload it. I might upload it later or tomorrow. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.